Hi, welcome to the show. I am Suzanne Lynn, and with me today, author Michael Kelso. He wrote the book One on One. Mike, I'm glad that you're here today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Mike, tell us about the premise for One on One.
The premise really stems from the fact I was a corrections officer for 20 years, and for the longest time, we were able to read on our posts and whatnot, and then management changed and they said you can no longer read on your posts. So I said to myself, okay, if I can't read books, then I will write them. And what I started to do was started out writing short stories. And actually, I'd been talked about this the other day. One of the first things that really got me going into books is I wrote a short story, and one of the people that I let read it gave it back to me and said, "You're sick." And I
As
knew
in
right
sick in
then,
the head?
yes, I knew right then that I was hooked on writing horror.
You were onto something good. And
Yeah,
I imagine, I mean, did he say that because where you're coming from as a corrections officer, you've seen some pretty dark things. It's a tough career, right?
it is. It is. And a lot of people don't really understand that. Um, Corrections is one of those things that it's invisible for the good reasons, but very visible for the bad reasons.
Mm.
Just whenever something goes bad, it goes really bad and usually grabs headlines. And that's where a lot of people don't understand
Mm.
the rest. Even in the preface of the book, I wrote about there's the 2% that always gets the headlines for the wrong reason. And then there's the 98% that come into work every day to do a very, very difficult job that have to deal with things that most people don't want to deal with and don't want to know about.
Mm.
And it's those people that get branded by the 2% that do the wrong things and grab the headlines.
But the book is not really about being a corrections officer. It's more about the concept of if you could take revenge on someone, right? This is a fiction. If you could take revenge on
Yeah,
someone and there was no accountability, would you do it?
yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all in a corrections setting.
Okay.
And that is the main premise, but it takes the character a while to get there.
Mm.
And what the book really boils down to is choices. Um,
That's the
having the
heart of the
choice.
matter. Okay.
Yes,
Mhm.
having the choice between making the right decision, making the wrong decision. And if you do make that wrong decision, having the choice to get out of it or having the choice to say, you know what, I'm here, I'm going to keep going forward.
So
And
does this come from a place of people that you've seen that are angry that want revenge?
the whole revenge concept is, I mean, that's all the fiction part.
Okay.
Um, when you sit around and you have to deal with some of the things that you have to deal with in a corrections setting, it changes you. I mean,
Mm.
there's a lot of things that you can no longer look at the same way. And there are times that, I wrote the original story. It was only a 3,000 word horror story. And it dealt basically with just getting revenge for something that an inmate had done.
Hmm.
But as I wrote it into a novel, I realized that I had to show the consequence of that. And that's where the real heart of the story came in. Once I was done with the horror part and started writing in the part where people had to deal with the consequences of their choices,
Mm.
that's when the heart of the story came in. And there are a couple places where the character has the choice. He can still save himself, and he has to make that choice yet again.
Mm.
And it
I'm dying to know which one you choose.
Well,
You know what
I could tell you the plot, but then that'll ruin the
then
story.
we want people to buy your book. Tell me about how anger plays into your book, Mike.
It's a very difficult career. I
Mm.
mean, corrections has some of the highest suicide rates, has some of the highest divorce rates, and because once you get into it, a lot of people don't realize that you can really only talk to other corrections officers about it because it's a very difficult it's a very difficult environment, and
Physically,
everyone
emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I'm sure in all
all of
ways,
it.
all
Yeah,
consuming. Mhm.
yes, and it's very difficult to communicate that to someone. So you come home to a spouse and you try to tell them the kind of day that you had, and that spouse is not used to the kind of things that you have to see and do,
Right.
and they're just like,
Hmm. It's
I
tough.
don't wanna talk about that.
Right, right.
So there's a lot of times that things get bottled up, and that's where I mean, my release was in writing it. That's
Mm,
why I wrote the horror story,
mm.
thinking about here's these people that I have to take care of, that I have to deal with, and they've done these horrible things to
It's a moral
people.
dilemma.
Yeah. What if I could invite those people back to say, now it's your turn?
Wow. All right, we're talking to Michael Kelso with the book One on One. Michael, I can't believe we've run out of time already. Where is the book available?
It's available on Amazon, and I also have a link to Kobo, Apple, several other retailers. It's a universal link that you can use to get to any of those.
Sounds good. And quickly before we sign off, what is the one lasting thing you want people to take from your book?
Choices. That
Mm.
choices matter, consequences matter, and the fact that one of the things that I always said was corrections officers are like the offensive linemen of law enforcement. We're invisible when we're doing things right, but when we do something wrong, that's when everybody looks at it and throws red flags.
Michael, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you letting us have a little insight and see the heart behind your book, One on One. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.